We'll start with team news, actually. How's Jonathan Hogg, firstly?
Yeah, he's had a scan, so we're still awaiting confirmation of those results. But it looks like the lateral side of his knee, so the lateral ligament that has been affected in the collision that he went into. So yeah, we're waiting to see the severity of it. But he's he's a little bit sore still today. But we've obviously all got our fingers crossed because he's a very important player to us.
Will he be available for Saturday?
Well, you never say never, but obviously the injury happening on Tuesday, the turnaround would be quick. But we'll have to wait and see until we know the exact severity of it. I don't want to say too much more.
How's Camille? I know we've not asked you for a little while. How's he doing?
Yeah, so Camille has trained regularly over the last 2 weeks, and is now fully fit and available to play. Our ideal is for him to play in a game. I just think the nature of the collision, it would be nice for him to have a game to then be actually available for first team selection. He was due to play on Tuesday against Bradford City, but unfortunately that was called off because of a waterlogged pitch. So there's another game next Tuesday that he will play in, and then from there we see him available for team selection.
Looking back on Tuesday's result, how significant was that win now, given the results that happened last night in the Championship as well?
Well, I think for us, we're just concentrating on what we're doing. It's always the process, and we were pleased with the performance. I think it was a good performance, both against the ball and in possession. Probably our most complete performance. Still not a 90-minute performance, but certainly I think since we've been at the club anyway, our most complete performance. I think we've had some other good performances against the ball, Brentford being one of them, and we've had other games where we've been good in possession but not so good against the ball. So no, I felt that was probably our most complete performance. With regards to the other results, obviously we were at the Sheffield Wednesday Charlton game last night. While we look at the results out of interest, we know what we need to do, and the teams around us are winning. I think what it has done is probably dragged a few more teams into that relegation battle, but we, like I said, we're focused on trying to get a consistent level of performance.
I know you've said 50 points has been the target this season. Will that be enough, just given the fact that it's starting to get a little bit tighter at the bottom of the table?
Well, I think you look at history, and history suggests it will be. I think Peterborough are the only team that have ever been relegated with 50 points. I think the average is normally 47. But for us, we're working towards that 50-point target. If and when we get that, then we'll look to redefine the objectives and set new targets and go from there. But like I said, our main focus is on the performance and trying to find a consistency from game to game.
You mentioned that you were at the Sheffield Wednesday game last night. What were you able to glean from that Charlton side going into Saturday?
Well, I think it was a good game. It was an enjoyable game to watch. Very little between the two teams. I think Charlton will feel really hard done by that they didn't take anything from the game. They certainly had their chances in the match. They changed system twice within the game, so it allowed us to see them in different systems. I think they're in a much better place than they probably were when we played them last. I think when we played them last, both ourselves and them were in somewhat of an injury crisis, and it was a close game that we just about managed to get on the right side of. This time around, I think they've got their squad back fit. I think they've been able to have a really successful transfer window and certainly add to the quality of the group. And they've got real competition for places, and I look at them and see a good Championship squad, and we anticipate a really tough game on Saturday against a team that are focused, determined, have some substance about them, and some quality in the top end of the pitch.
I think you're level on points, if I'm right in saying, goal difference separating the both of you. Do you see a lot of comparisons, a lot of similarities, I should say, between yourselves and Charlton?
I think we've had different pathways, haven't we? I think they've obviously been promoted from from League One. The momentum that they gained from that promotion, I think they carried into the season. I think we probably had the reverse of that with a relegation, and we maybe carried some of that negative energy into our season. I see Lee Bowyer doing a fantastic job there as a young manager. They've played, since we've played in the 14 games since, they've used a 3-5-2 formation on 7 occasions. I think they've played a 4-4-2 diamond on 4 occasions. I think they've reverted to that diamonding game at times. They've also played the 4-3-3 and a flat 4-4-2. So they've used different formations. They've mixed their personnel up. Like I said, they're probably in the best place they've been in terms of the squad and the fitness of the group, and certainly with the additions that they brought in on January, that has strengthened them, and we believe that we'll be playing them at a time where they'll be at their best, and we will need to try to find our levels, and we were able to do that Tuesday. I think we take confidence from that, but I think the balance is to take confidence from that, but not get ahead of ourselves.
Because there's so much riding on this game, looking at the table, is it fair to say that it's probably the biggest game of the season so far for Town?
I think it's the biggest game of our season because it's the next one. We try not to get caught up too much in the emotion of it all. That sounds really boring, but ultimately for us it's about being process orientated, and this is our next game. We were pleased with our performance on Tuesday night. I think really since Brentford at home in January, I think we've started to see seeds that suggest that we're going to be able to get to a consistent performance. I don't think in any of the games since Brentford at home we've been able to put the whole game together other than Tuesday night. And I don't think in the other games we've managed key moments particularly well. They're the things that we're trying to do, because we know that if we can get to a consistent level of performance and manage the key moments, then we'll start to get value for our good performances.